I'm a bit like, be emotional, because that's where the motivation comes from. That feeling is where, that's what drives people forward. Yeah, I really liked it, yeah. Sounds really sad, but I was like watching it, I was like, it's dead engaging there. I was watching myself and thinking, I'm dead interested. That's really sad, isn't it? And stuff like that. So I don't really know, like, who the people are that come in, so. The electrician is coming back, but there's 2 lights working.
I felt the other day though, is it just that the bulbs have got?
It is that the bulbs have got, but the bulbs that we've got in, even when all the lights are on, it's still a bit crap in it. No one can work past 4 o'clock today. So the difference being, we have to, because this is where I've started to question ourselves as well. We talk about change, and actually I think what we're dealing with is transformation. So this is where I think the difference is. Change is like something on the outside. So I'm going to get my hair cut, that's a change. Or I'm going to get a new job, that's a change. I'm going to move house, that's a change. Transformation is what happens on the inside. So the way you transform, the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, you transform your self-esteem, you transform your view of the world, you transform, you know, right? And if you transform that, then the change happens and looks after itself. So the diet industry being the best example of, most of those companies just deal in change. So change your diet, your exercise regime, put some structures in place externally. What they don't deal in is the internal transformation, like change your mindset, change your relationship with food, your relationship with exercise, change the way you feel about yourself. I think we deal in transformation because we almost deal in the inner bit, and then we know that the outer bit looks after itself.
We don't have anything to do with that, do we?
Right, but I reckon a lot of the rest of the world deal in the external bit, so we need to put stuff in place so that people can, but they don't. And I don't know if I'm right with this, but it's just been dawning on me recently.
It makes sense, because it's not sustainable then, is it?
Yeah.
Because you're dictating again, aren't you? You're telling people they should be eating this, they should be doing this, they should be exercising.
But it's just that external bit, isn't it? So, I don't know if I'm right, but it's just made me start thinking that transformation is what happens in here, and change is what happens out here. And transformation leads to change, but change without transformation is only ever a short-term thing.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
You're never ever going to keep that going. Yeah, you can do all the external stuff, but if you haven't got that thing, whatever that thing is in here, do you know, that kind of...
In business, it's the desire and the passion, and that relates to a lot of things anyway. That's where the desire, that's why we keep going and doing what we're doing. We improve things all the time because we've got that inner desire to be successful, you know, to make it a success, whatever that looks like.
Hey, alright. How you doing? I'm John. Nice to meet you. How's it going? Alright? Alright, brilliant. I'll get them to call you as soon as they can. Alright. Sit back and try and say something profound. Try and say something that'll break the internet. And then shiftily look at the camera and make sure you got it like that.
But more than that, it's a learning experience, and hopefully something that you're going to.
The plan today is to look at the fundamental kind of basic stuff of coaching, and particularly around our bright coaching model which we've developed ourselves. We're a kind of make yourself at home kind of place. You know, like we really are. We're a kind of help yourself, grab what you need. If you haven't got something, ask for it. The other thing then is, you can't really be wrong today. So for the rest of the day, you can't be wrong. It's just going to be an opinion, a thought, question, an idea. Honestly, it doesn't make too much difference because we always work with the whole person. And we also know that if we work with the person, they start to develop, they start to change, they start to make progress. So we very much trust our process. And we might go in and coach, and we coach those 10 people on 10 different things because they're 10 different people. And then the organisation comes back to us afterwards and goes, oh wow, that performance has really improved. And with some of them, we haven't specifically touched on performance. It's just that they as a person have developed and grown. So is that alright? Can you just throw some ideas at me and I'll just write words a bit. What words would you associate with coaching?
Development.
Okay. This is a coaching relationship. Absolutely side by side. And I don't know this path. I don't know where we're going to go, I don't know what's going to happen, I've got nothing to offer you in that sense, in terms of my own experience, I've got nothing there. But as a coach, what we're going to do is we're going to walk this together, and the difference here is that actually as a coach, the expert is you, the coachee. Because you know this world, you know your life, You're the only person who's ever lived it, the only person who's ever felt it, seen it through your eyes, so we're going to trust your expertise. So my job as a coach is to help Paula unlock that expertise that already lives within her. But there's a difference between having a problem and not being okay. They're two different things. We start from the place in coaching always that this person is okay, even if they're saying I'm not okay with this. We're like, no, it's okay, we can work with this and we can be with it. It's a really important point, because otherwise we fall into a position of almost wanting to repair people, and that's not our job. And again, if we come across someone who actually clearly needs therapy, it's a referral. It's a referral to a therapist. Oh yeah, we can feast. Yeah, feast. How you doing, Pete?
Good, thanks.
I feel like I haven't seen you for ages.
Yeah, just been through there for a bit because they're short staff. So.
Are they? What is people off for?
Vacuum meetings.
This is why communication breaks down so much amongst people. How many times you have that conversation where oh, I thought you meant, oh no, I didn't mean, no, I wasn't saying it like that. Because words have different meanings for different people, because people have different maps and different experiences. Does that make some sense?
Yeah, I think.
But Luxmore started to talk about the idea that actually self-esteem is really built by being with another person and listening to another person, because that's what starts to make a person feel of worth. And he starts to relate it back to us even being babies. When we were looked at, that's when we started to know we were a person. When we were kind of like, we had our mother looking at us, or our father, you know, whoever it was, a carer looking at us. That's what started to give us a sense of worth, of self, of this is who I am and I'm worthy of something. So when people responded to us and were with us and present, that's what started to build our self-worth and self-esteem. And I think he's really onto something here. And I certainly don't want you thinking of this of me, that I'm some sort of perfect father who drops everything all the time when my children need to that's not the reality of life. But there is something about it for me, with whoever I'm working with, that makes me think actually this being with somebody is so important. And it just makes me more conscious of almost at times parking that stuff that I'm doing, or whatever it is that's going on, or the busyness of and just being with that person, because I think that's what really makes them feel of worth. And I think for all of us, I don't care who we are, whether we're a chief executive of a massive company, or we're somewhere else on that career ladder, or whoever we are, I think there's a deep longing in all of us to be of worth. Weight Watchers. Basically, their business model is accountability. People pay £5 a week to be weighed by somebody else. That's effectively it. I know they've got products and they've got a system and points, but we could all weigh ourselves in the privacy of our own home, couldn't we? But what happens is, by ourselves, we get on the scales and we go, oh, I've put on £2, never mind, I'll have a cake. You know, like, because there's only you, there's no accountability. Or you go, yeah, I've lost £2, and you celebrate it by yourself. There's something about, I'll have a cake. Yeah, I'll have a cake. There's something about that accountability, someone else holding you to account, that makes it work. Certainly in the short term. Certainly in the short term. Ever like that?
Yeah, thank
you.
Thank you.
And I think we've got very good at making our bodies do what we think looks like listening, where our minds are actually distracted away by something else. We're almost very polite. So I think often what's going on in conversations when you look at two people is, one person's talking, the other person looks like they're listening, but actually what they're doing is waiting for their chance to speak, because they're already lining up what they're going to say next. So as somebody's talking, so if Paula's talking to me, she's talking, I look like I'm listening, tilting my head and in all the right places, but I'm effectively going, I know what I'm going to say next, I know what I'm going to say next, I know what I'm going to say next. So we're not actually really listening to each other, we're distracted by our own stuff that's going on. In terms of coaching, we almost need to get rid of that, just get that away, and just really, really listen to the person that's in front of us. And I meet and come across so many people who I think are living out someone else's version of success for them. They've got this idea that success is this, and that's almost then what they need to do, or what I need to do in order to be happy, or in order to be successful is this thing. And yet, I love asking people the question, what does your version of success in life look like? What's success for you?
It's quite interesting.
And I think we're handed a load of ones. Some are about Lamborghinis and helicopters, some are about having 2.4 children, some are about living in this certain house, having this certain job, getting to this certain position, having this amount of money. All I know is what success is for me,
and I want to live out my version of success, because actually that's the only place I'm going to be content and fulfilled. And I think contentment's one of those things that's become massively underrated. I think it's one of the most special things we have in life is contentment. Because I think the way that we raise people in our education system is almost that we do logical stuff around their logic, not necessarily around emotions. I think we often struggle in our society when people display emotion. We do this whole thing about, oh, whoa, whoa, you're getting a bit emotional about it now.
Yeah.
We never go, whoa, 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 you're being too logical. You know, so I think there's a culture of it that actually, and also nobody doesn't tend to fear appearing logical in a group of people, but the amount of people I come across who fear appearing emotional and almost don't want to be with that emotion because it's almost like there's something wrong with it. So maybe a sign of weakness, or I don't know what it means to people. I think if we didn't have emotion, almost like we'd be living life in black and white. It'd be like this grey existence. It's the emotion that gives things colour. It's the emotion that lets us really feel life. So I'm almost like, emotion's all right. Nichols.
People want to talk about it.
And the family and
They're still working through it, still clicking things into place, still trying to.
So what have your
external stuff, you know, will look after itself really. So for me,
and see you later. Thank you. Bye bye. Yeah.
Really appreciate you go safely home.
cheers, really appreciate it. Brilliant. How do I share it? First Fluent Days vid. Obviously we've been running it for ages, and then he came on it, and even leaving yesterday I just said to him, is it what you expected like? And he was like, it's even better, it's even better. He said, I knew it would be good, but it's even better than I expected it to be. And that's my best mate. Max filming for YouTube as well, so kind of look. You ready, Dan? This is Dan receiving his accredited Bright Coaching Award certificate. Worked hard for this. Well done, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Do you want to make a speech, or anyone you want to thank?
You.
Oh, no problems at all.
And Selena for getting me into it all. Yeah, I wouldn't be here without you two.
Thanks. Do you want to re-present mine?